What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is time that we do a post-mortem video of Super Tuesday 6. This is probably the last post-mortem video for a primary, well, more than likely, as there's really nothing else for the rest of the year for primaries. There's, of course, New Hampshire, but that's kind of it, folks. And last night was another big W for the America First movement. Not as big as other weeks, but a lot of people were salty last night. That's all I'm going to say before we get into today's video. Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share it to friends, hit that little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, also join the channel. I would go more into it, but knowing a certain Big Penguin polling, they're going to give, all of you membership at this point. I mean, if you saw what happened yesterday, he gave like 20 people membership. That just join the channel today for 10 cents a day, and you get a good feeling in your heart. Just don't do what Big Penguin polling did. Give like 50 people membership. Oh boy. So let's get into it, folks. So we obviously had a couple primaries yesterday, and we got to start with the one big primary, Wisconsin. Now, I had this race, within 2 points. I thought Michaels was going to carry it by around 2 points or so. I wasn't expecting this. He won it by over 5. Against the Republican establishment in Wisconsin, he pulled it off. It does appear that the Trump raid that happened at a certain house he had is really helping Trumpian candidates. I mean, when you looked at the early vote, it was like 45-43 for Michaels. He was winning by 2 points. But when those late votes started to come in, election day votes, they just began to swing heavy for Michaels. So, it appears the raid thing actually really helped Trump endorse candidates from the looks of it. Now, this is a very cursed map. I wasn't expecting Washington County would go for Michaels, but at the same time a place like Marathon goes for Cleefish. I wasn't ready for that. I know this is a Cruz County in the primary, but still, it's like, who would have thought Marathon would have went to Cleefish, yet Washington would have went to Michaels? It was a very strange map. As you can see here, Kenosha, Racine both went to Michaels. Fond du Lac went heavy for Michaels. This part of Wisconsin just broke heavy for him. And I know he's from this area. He's from Dodge County, I believe. But even then, he just romped into this part of the state. I mean, look at this. Look at Fond du Lac. This was a big reason for that big of a victory. I mean, he just ran up the vote share. And you look at the rest of the state, places like Chippewa, Eau Claire, Barron, Dunn, etc. These are counties that, for years Republicans have not done well up here. I mean, I think there's a lot of these are Gore counties, if I remember correctly. But look at who did best up here, Michaels. And this bodes well with him probably doing really good in these counties this fall. All right, I think he's going to actually do a bit better than Trump in these counties. I mean, these are like pinkish counties when you look at the map. They're going to be like red when Michaels runs this fall. I mean, he did great up here. And as you can see, a certain candidate took third. Rampton. I wasn't expecting him to get almost 21% in Polk County. You notice the closer we get to Minnesota, the better Rampton has done. It turns out the Mike Lindell voter may actually be real. This scares me. I mean, look at this. He gets like, 5.5% here. Sheboygan, which is a home county, gets 8%. Right next to Minnesota, bam, 21%. This just hurts my brain. Now, as you can see here, Michaels overall did best in the rest of the state. The Driftless area, he won by a lot. And it was a good night for Michaels and the America First movement overall. Now, for the Senate race, that's kind of decided. Ron Johnson's going to win this race. I mean, look at this. He got more votes than all the Democrats combined. That was kind of the election in a nutshell last night. For the other races, Attorney General, rest in peace, Jarchow. I think it's Jarchow. I voted for him. I still cannot pronounce his last name correctly, but in my opinion, he was the best candidate. Sucks that he barely just could not pull it off. He did good enough. He did good in the WoW counties in northern Wisconsin, a very weird map, but I guess it wasn't enough to carry the state. Very bad. I'm very sad about this because I really like Jarka. I think he would have been a great attorney general, but Eric Toney's not bad either. I just think he's not the best. So overall in Wisconsin, outside of this race, it was a good night for America First candidates in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, Robin Vos won. And at first I was like, okay, I'm glad with this because Vos has been good on election stuff. He's been good as Speaker of the House or the Assembly. Well, yesterday when he won, he backstabbed everybody. The second he won, he's like, yeah, I'm going to fire everybody with the election integrity. We're going to stop doing it right now. Look, I'm not a big fan of some of the things Trump has done with the election stuff. I wish he would stop talking about 2020. That's obvious. But just ignore some reforms because you want to spite Trump? Wow. I was not expecting that from Vos. So if he keeps that up, and if he messes with Michael's agenda when he wins this fall, I'm going to be pretty mad. It's not going to be a good sight to behold because Michaels needs the state assembly to actually be on his side. If Robin Vos purposely derails his agenda, we got a primary the son of a bitch in 2024. So that's that in Wisconsin. Now, we had a special election in Minnesota, and people are freaking out about this, and I wanted to quickly look at this. So Republicans won this seat by 4.5% or so, 4.2%. And people are saying, you see, it swung 5 points Democrat compared to 2020 for the presidential level. Here's something people need to understand. You cannot compare a district like this with presidential to House races. You can't. Why? There are so many Trump Democrat voters in this seat that you look at the House race from 2020, the Republicans only won the seat by 2.5%, when it was more Republican, because obviously they redistricted it. And they would have lost this seat if it wasn't for a third-party candidate, the Weed Party. So Republicans actually did very good in this seat. When you consider the fact that this is a Democrat seat down ballot, when you account for it, still having a lot of Trump Democrats, I should say, that still vote Democrat down ballot, Republicans won this seat. They won it by around 4.2%. And when you account for everything, it swung like 3 or 4 points Republican. That's a good sign for a lot of these districts. These districts that, they love Trump, but they still vote Democrat down ballot. Plus, Edinger, I think I have to say his last name, he was a strong candidate for the Democrats. I mean, he is from, I think, Olmsted. That's where I think he was from. That's kind of the big reason he came kind of close. I mean, you look at this. I mean, he won this county by 6,000. That's wow. For a special election, that's pretty impressive for Olmsted. But either way, Republicans still won this seat, and people need to calm down. Just look at the House results in 2020. This actually swung quite a bit Republican. Now, there was a surprise last night. I was not expecting this. Ilhan Omar, obviously one of the squad members from the Minneapolis area, who should go away, in my opinion. She's awful. She hates America, but, a representative of the United States House. Point is, she nearly lost last night. Nobody saw this. Not the polling, nothing. She only won by 2 points. Don Samuels, my man, you nearly took out Omar with no support. Thank you. So if you don't know Don Samuels, when you look at him, he's essentially a pro-police Democrat. He's a pro-law and order Democrat. Now, would he be like an Eric Adams type? I don't know. But point is, he would be definitely a better candidate than Omar. I would rather have Samuels than Omar. And he nearly took her out in a big shock. I mean, this shocked a lot of people. I mean, look at this. She nearly won that. She nearly lost. It's kind of a surprise. So that's kind of that for Minnesota. The other races I really don't care about. Really don't matter. Now, Connecticut, another big shock to me. You look at turnout, Republicans did fairly good in turnout. And if you don't know, this is a close primary state. And it's like 66% Democrat or something like that for party registration. Yet Republicans did pretty good in turnout. Did very good in turnout compared to 2018 and 2016. And it looks like the statewide candidates for the local elections, it appears they're going to run away with this race. All these races, the governorship, the Secretary of State race, etc. Maybe the congressional races. It was a good night for turnout for Republicans. But that's kind of it. I think Stefanowski is going to win this fall. Like, he's not as good as he was in 2018, but I think he's going to pull it off in the end. You look at the turnout, it looks pretty good. For Vermont, I don't care. Yay. Nolan lost. Woo! Hooray! So that's kind of that, folks, in Super Tuesday 6. A lot of memes were had. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.